The aid station floated in deep space, far from any busy trade route or major colony. It was quiet, cold, and built only for emergencies. But now it was full of life. Fearful, tired, and wounded life. A group of alien refugees had arrived just hours ago. They were Villari, a peaceful species known for their pale skin, tall bodies, and glowing eyes. Most of them had nothing left. Their homes were destroyed by the warlike Grethun, a brutal race that attacked without warning. The Villari had fled across light years, looking for safety. They found this human station. Soraya was one of them. She was young, with soft silver skin and long white hair braided tightly behind her head. In her arms, she held a baby wrapped in a soft blue cloth. The baby had been crying nonstop for 3 days. Its tiny voice echoed through the cold metal halls. Some humans tried to help. Medics checked the child, but found nothing wrong. Others looked annoyed, their faces tight with frustration. One alien even muttered, "Can't she make it stop?" Soraya sat in the corner of the main hall, her back against a wall, rocking her child slowly. Her eyes were tired, but she didn't sleep. She couldn't. Her baby, 11, was all she had left. Her mate was killed during the attack. Her city was gone. And now, even among allies, she felt alone. At the far end of the hall stood a human soldier. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and quiet. A long scar crossed his cheek, and his armor looked old but well used. His name tag said, "Hail." He didn't speak much. Most people ignored him, thinking he was just another guard. But Hale wasn't just watching. He was listening. The baby's cry wasn't just loud, it was painful. It wasn't a normal cry. There was fear in it, confusion. Like the baby could feel the pain of everyone around it. Hale didn't know much about the Villari, but something told him this child was different. One of the station workers walked past Soraya and sighed loudly. "If that baby doesn't stop soon, I swear." That was it. Hale stepped forward. At first, no one noticed. Then a few people turned. The big human soldier, the quiet one, was walking straight toward the alien woman and her crying baby. Soraya looked up, confused and scared. She pulled her baby closer. Hale stopped a few feet away and slowly knelt down. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said gently. "May I try?" Soraya blinked. She didn't understand all of his words, but something in his voice felt safe. She looked at Eleven, still crying, then back at the soldier. After a long pause, she slowly held the baby out. Hale reached forward and carefully took the child in his arms. And then, silence. The baby stopped crying. Everyone in the hall froze. Something had just changed. Everyone stared. The baby, 11, had stopped crying. After days of screaming and tears, there was only silence. The small alien child looked up at the human soldier holding him. His glowing violet eyes blinked slowly. Then, to everyone's surprise, he smiled. Soraya's mouth opened slightly. She could not believe what she was seeing. Her child had not smiled since the day of the attack. Not even once. Hale didn't move. He stood still, holding the baby carefully in both hands. His armor was rough and cold, but his touch was gentle. He had held weapons heavier than this child, but none as fragile. Behind him, 2 human medics stared with wide eyes. One whispered, "How the hell did he do that?" "I don't know," the other replied. "That baby screamed through tranquilizers." Soraya stood up slowly. Her legs shook, but she stepped forward. She reached out and touched her child's face. 11 was calm, breathing softly. His little hands curled around Hale's armor, like it was something familiar. Hale looked down at the child, then back at Soraya. He held the baby out, ready to return him. But Soraya hesitated. "Please," she said in her soft voice. "Hold him. More." Her common language wasn't perfect, but Hale understood. He nodded. Soraya sat again, this time not in the corner, but closer to where people could see her. Hale stayed beside her, still holding the baby. A few Velari watched silently. Others whispered to each other in their own language. Some looked uncomfortable. A few looked hopeful. No one expected this, a human and a Velari. These two species had never been close. They were allies on paper, but not in the heart. The Velari were calm, sensitive, and peaceful. Humans were loud, emotional, and known for war. Many Velari feared them. But now, a human soldier had calmed one of their youngest. Not with drugs, not with machines, just by being there. Hale didn't speak much. He never did. But something about the baby felt right. He had been in wars, seen planets burn, and lost many friends. But this child didn't flinch from him. He relaxed in Hale's arms. It was like the baby didn't feel fear, only comfort. A tall Velari male came forward. He looked at Soraya, then at Hale. "This is strange," he said. "Unnatural." Soraya looked up. Her voice was firm. "No, it is needed." The Velari man frowned, then walked away. Hale didn't care. He had seen that look before, fear dressed as pride. He sat down next to Soraya. He didn't ask questions. He just let the child sleep in his arms. After a while, Soraya whispered, "Thank you." Hale nodded. He didn't know why the baby chose him, but something inside told him this was just the beginning. The crying had stopped, yes, but the real storm hadn't started yet. For the first time in days, the aid station was quiet. The baby, Eleven, slept peacefully in the arms of the human soldier, Sergeant Hale. No one had expected this. Even the medics were shocked. They had tried everything: medicine, scanners, even soft music, but nothing had worked. And now the baby was resting, all because of one human touch. Word spread fast. Within an hour, both humans and Velari started whispering about the moment. The human calmed the baby. Some said it was luck. Others thought it was strange. But Soraya knew it was something more. She watched Hale closely. He sat with his back against the wall, the baby lying gently across his chest. His face looked serious, but his arms moved with care. He wasn't just holding Eleven. He was protecting him, like a shield. Soraya sat beside him again. She didn't speak, just listened to her child's breathing. For the first time since the escape, she felt her heart slow down. She wasn't alone anymore. One of the station leaders, a sharp-eyed human woman named Lieutenant Ramos, entered the hall. She walked over, her boots clicking loudly on the metal floor. She stopped in front of Hale. "Sergeant," she said, crossing her arms. "What are you doing?" Hale looked up calmly. "Helping. By holding an alien baby." Ramos frowned. "You're off duty. This isn't your job." Soraya's eyes widened. She looked nervous again. Hale didn't flinch. "It is now." Ramos sighed. "Fine, but don't get too attached. This is temporary. They'll be moved to another camp soon." She turned and walked away. Soraya leaned closer. "She is angry." Hale nodded. "She's careful. She doesn't like us," Soraya said quietly. Hale glanced at her. "She's seen war, lost people. It makes hearts hard." Soraya looked down. "I've lost too." "I know," Hale said softly. He looked at Eleven again. "So has he." The baby shifted slightly in his arms, but didn't wake. A soft warmth glowed around his tiny hands, faint, like moonlight. Soraya noticed it too. "He is special." "How?" Hale asked. Soraya paused, thinking of the right words. "He feels everything, not just touch or sound. He feels hearts, emotions, pain, fear, love." Hale looked thoughtful. "That's a heavy thing for a child." Soraya nodded slowly. "That's why he cried. Everyone around him. So much pain. It hurt him." Hale looked down at the sleeping child. "But not with me." Soraya's eyes softened. "No, with you. He feels peace." Hale said nothing more. He simply leaned back, eyes half closed, letting the child sleep. Others in the hall looked on, some confused, some amazed. For the first time since the refugees arrived, there was no tension, just silence, and one strange, beautiful picture: a human soldier, an alien mother, a baby finally at rest. The next morning, the aid station was calm. It almost felt peaceful. Sergeant Hale was awake early. He cleaned his gear, checked his boots, and strapped on his armor like every other day. But now, something was different. He looked toward the far side of the hall, where Soraya sat with her baby in her arms. She was looking for him. When she saw him, she smiled, a small, tired smile, but real. Elivin reached his little hand toward Hale. The baby remembered him. Hale walked over without a word and knelt beside them. Soraya held out the child again, and Hale took him gently. Elivin didn't cry. Other soldiers and station workers began to notice the routine. Each day, Hale would spend time with the child. And each day, the baby stayed quiet and calm. The humans whispered behind Hale's back. Some made jokes. A few even mocked him. But Hale didn't care. Soraya started speaking to him more. Her common was still broken, but she tried. Hale listened patiently. He even began learning some of her Velari language, slowly, one word at a time. "Elivin," she said, pointing to the child. "Elivin," Hale repeated. She smiled. Then she pointed to herself. "Soraya." Hale nodded. "Soraya." Then she pointed at him. "Name." "Hale," he said. She repeated it carefully. "Hale." Soon, Hale knew words like sleep, food, safe, and listen in her language. And Soraya learned words like yes, no, thank you, and strong in his. The others watched with quiet interest. Some began to respect the bond forming between the soldier and the alien mother. Even Lieutenant Ramos said nothing now. She simply observed. One afternoon, Soraya handed Hale a small blue crystal. "This is memory stone," she said. Hale looked at it curiously. It glowed faintly in his hand. "It shows emotions," Soraya explained. "What the heart feels, it keeps inside." Hale held it gently. He could feel a soft warmth from it, like a heartbeat. "Why give it to me?" he asked. Soraya looked at Elivin. "Because he trusts you, and I do too." Hale was quiet for a moment. Then he nodded. "I'll protect him. Both of you." Soraya didn't speak, but her eyes were wet. Later that night, Elivin began glowing softly again as he slept. Hale noticed something strange. His own thoughts were calm around the child. His old memories, the nightmares of war, seemed distant. He felt lighter, stronger. It was like the baby was helping him too. The bond between the human soldier and the alien child grew stronger each day. Not through weapons, not through orders, but through kindness, touch, and trust. And far away in the darkness of space, something dangerous had begun to move. Far away from the aid station, a dark ship moved through space like a shadow. Its metal hull was black, covered in scars from many battles. Inside, the commanders of the Grathun stood around a glowing map. "The child is still alive," one of them growled. Another slammed his clawed hand on the table. "He must be taken. That baby is beacon-born. He can feel paths through folded space. We need him." The ship changed course. Destination: the human aid station. Back at the station, no one knew what was coming. Life had become almost normal again. Refugees were still recovering, but now they smiled more. The baby had brought peace, and everyone could feel it. But Hale couldn't relax. Something was wrong. He had been a soldier too long to ignore his instincts. That morning, he walked the station's outer hallway, checking cameras and gates. He had seen too many battles end in surprise. Lieutenant Ramos met him near the command room. "You're jumpy, Hale." "I've got a bad feeling," he said. She raised an eyebrow. You always have a bad feeling. This one's worse. Just then, alarms started to flash red. A voice echoed through the halls. Unidentified vessel approaching. Shields up. Prepare for possible contact. Hale ran. In the refugee hall, Soraya was holding Eleven close. The baby was glowing brightly and shaking. Soraya's face was pale. She looked at Hale with wide eyes. They're coming, she whispered. He feels them. Hale didn't ask who. He already knew. Grathun, he said. They found you. Panic spread fast. Villari refugees cried out. Some tried to hide. Others grabbed small bags, ready to run. The station's defense team armed themselves. Hale turned to Ramos. We can't let them take the child. They'll ask for him, she said coldly. Maybe they'll leave if we hand him over. No, Hale said sharply. That baby's not a weapon. He's not theirs. They'll kill us all. Then we fight. Outside, the Grathun ship stopped just outside firing range. A message appeared on the station's screen. A deep, growling voice filled the room. Give us the Beaconborn, and we will spare your station. Refuse, and we will destroy you all. Hale looked at Ramos. She was silent. Then Hale stepped forward, speaking into the comms. You want the child. You'll have to come and take him. But know this, humans don't run. We protect our own. And now, he's ours. The Grathun did not reply. Instead, weapons began to power up. Inside the station, Hale handed Eleven back to Soraya. Find somewhere safe. Stay there. I'll handle this. Soraya's eyes were full of fear, but also something more. Trust. I know, she said softly. You will. The baby touched Hale's arm gently. A flash of warmth passed through him, like courage flowing into his blood. Hale turned to face the hallway, helmet in hand. The storm had arrived, and he was ready. The station shook as the first blast hit the outer wall. Lights flickered. Alarms screamed. People ran through the halls, trying to find safety. Soraya held Eleven close, her arms wrapped tightly around him. The baby didn't cry this time. His glowing eyes were wide, and he kept looking in one direction, the docking bay. They're coming, Soraya whispered. Sergeant Hale ran through the station in full armor. Other soldiers followed him, some scared, some angry, but all ready. They'd reached the docking bay just in time to see the airlock being cut open from the outside. Sparks flew as the metal glowed red-hot. Lieutenant Ramos joined him. Reinforcements are 20 minutes away, she said. We have to hold this line. We will, Hale said, his voice steady. He looked at the small team behind him. No one gets through. We protect the refugees. We protect the baby. The soldiers nodded. They formed a line across the hallway, weapons ready. With a loud boom, the door burst open. The Grathun stepped inside, tall, armored beasts with sharp claws and glowing red eyes. They walked like they owned the place, their leader in front, his armor black and gold. You had your chance, the leader growled. Now you die. Hale stepped forward. You want him, you go through me. The Grathun leader laughed. One human. That's funny. Hale didn't smile. I'm not alone. And then the humans opened fire. The hallway lit up with blasts of red and blue. The sound of war echoed through the station. Hale fought like a wall, never falling, never backing down. He moved with skill, blocking shots, protecting others, and taking down enemies with perfect aim. Behind him, one soldier fell. Another screamed in pain, but the line held. Then the Grathun leader pushed forward with 2 guards. He raised a massive weapon and aimed straight at Hale. Just as he fired, something strange happened. A soft blue glow appeared around Hale. The energy blast hit him, but it didn't hurt. It bent. It melted away like smoke. What? The Grathun leader shouted. From behind the wall, Soraya was kneeling with Eleven in her arms. The baby's hands were glowing. His eyes were shut, but his body was shining like a star. He was protecting Hale. The baby had formed a shield of energy around the soldier. Soraya was crying, but not in fear. She was proud. "He chose you," she whispered. Hale didn't stop. With the shield around him, he charged forward. The Grathun leader tried to block, but Hale hit like thunder, knocking him to the ground. With one final strike, he ended the fight. The hallway fell silent. The Grathun survivors retreated, dragging their wounded leader away. The battle was over, and Hale was still standing, glowing, alive, and stronger than ever. Behind him, Soraya held her child, whispering in her language. "Protector of hearts." The battle was over, for now. The floor was covered in smoke, broken metal, and the smell of burned circuits. Bodies of Grathun soldiers lay still. A few wounded humans were being helped by medics. The lights flickered, but the station still stood. Sergeant Hale sat on the floor, breathing hard. His armor was damaged, his arms bruised, but he was alive. And he was glowing. Not brightly like Elivin, but softly. A faint blue light shimmered around him, fading slowly. Elivin rested in Soraya's arms nearby. The baby's eyes were closed, but his body was warm and safe. He had used his gift to protect Hale, and now he slept deeply. Soraya sat beside the soldier. She looked at Hale with quiet respect. "You are more than fighter," she said softly. Hale looked at her. "I'm just a man." She shook her head. "No, you are chosen." Lieutenant Ramos walked in, her arm in a sling. She looked at Hale, then at the glowing child. "What just happened?" she asked. Hale stood up slowly. "The baby protected me. I think he connected with me." "He used energy," Ramos said. "But how?" Soraya answered. "Elivin is beacon-born. He does not just feel emotions. He uses them." Ramos frowned. "That kind of power is rare. Dangerous." "No," Soraya said firmly. "Not dangerous. Only if feared." Ramos stayed quiet. Then she looked at Hale. "They'll come back. You know that." "I know," Hale said. "But next time, we'll be ready." Later that night, a meeting was held. Human leaders and Velari elders sat together for the first time. Before, they barely spoke. But now things had changed. A human soldier had risked his life for an alien child, and that child had saved him in return. Hale stood before the group. He wasn't a man of many words, but when he spoke, everyone listened. "We don't need to fear each other," he said. "That baby, Elivin, showed us something. We're stronger together, not because of weapons, but because of trust." One Velari elder stood up. "Humans are loud, harsh, but you gave peace to one of our most sensitive children. That means something." Another added, "Perhaps this is a new beginning." Hale looked at Soraya. She smiled, and he nodded. For the first time in many years, hope filled the room. Not just for survival, but for something more. Unity. Outside the station, stars still burned in the endless dark. The Grathun were not finished. They would return. But now, the humans and Velari were no longer afraid. They had seen what a bond could do. Between a soldier and a mother. Between a human and a child of light. And in the heart of it all, one baby's quiet gift had started a storm of change. Elivin slept peacefully in his mother's arms. His glow had faded, but warmth still surrounded him. Around the station, people worked to repair the damage. Walls were patched, lights were fixed, but something deeper had also changed. Trust had grown. Velari helped human engineers fix the power grid. Human medics treated alien children with care. Soldiers and refugees ate meals at the same tables. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. Sergeant Hale walked through the hallways quietly. Wherever he went, people greeted him. Some with nods, others with soft words. Even those who once laughed at him now showed respect. But Hale didn't care about praise. He only thought about the baby. That evening, Hale sat with Soraya in the corner of the main hall. Eleven lay between them, wrapped in soft cloth. Soraya looked at the baby, then at Hale. "He is speaking again," she said. Hale raised an eyebrow. "I don't hear anything." "Not with words," she explained. "With light." She held up the blue crystal she had given Hale earlier. It was glowing brighter than before. "He is showing a message." Hale leaned closer. The crystal shimmered, and then images began to appear inside. Small, glowing pictures moved like a dream. He saw stars, thousands of them. Then a bright path, winding through space. Finally, he saw darkness, and then a hand reaching through the dark. "What is it?" he asked quietly. Soraya closed her eyes. "It's a vision, a path, a warning." She touched the crystal gently. "The Grathun do not only want the child for war, they want him to find something." Hale frowned. "What?" "I don't know," she whispered, "but it is big, old, hidden deep in space, and it's dangerous." The crystal flashed again. This time, the image showed Earth. Hale felt his chest tighten. "They will go there next," Soraya said, "to find the child, or to punish the humans for protecting him." Hale stood up. "We have to warn Command." Ramos entered the hall at that moment. She had heard the last part. "Already done," she said. "Earth Command has been notified. But they need more than warnings." "What do you mean?" Hale asked. "They want you and the child on a shuttle," Ramos said. "There's a special task force being formed, human and Villari. A joint mission." Soraya looked scared. "Leave the station." Ramos nodded. "It's not safe here anymore. You'll be protected on the move." Hale looked at Soraya, then at the child. "I'll go," he said, "but only if they go with me." "They will," Ramos promised. That night, Hale packed his bag. He checked his weapon, then added the blue memory crystal to his kit. He wasn't just a soldier now. He was a guardian, and somewhere in the stars, a new journey was about to begin, not just for him, but for all of humanity. The baby had shown the way. Now, they had to follow it. The shuttle's engines roared softly as it lifted off from the aid station. Inside, the small group was quiet but alert. Humans and Villari sat side by side, a rare sight. Sergeant Hale held Eleven close, feeling the baby's gentle warmth. Lieutenant Ramos sat nearby, scanning the stars outside the window. "This mission is dangerous," she said softly. "The Grathun will not stop. They want what Eleven holds, power beyond their understanding." Hale nodded. "Then we have to be stronger." Soraya sat across from him, holding a small bag of Eleven's things. Her eyes never left the child. "He is tired," she said, "but he knows. He feels the path." Eleven's glow was faint, but steady. Hale felt it in his heart, a quiet strength that gave him hope. The shuttle moved quickly through space, following the path Eleven had shown with the memory crystal. Stars passed by in streaks of light. Time felt strange inside the small cabin. Suddenly, the ship's sensors beeped loudly. Ramos stood, her face tense. Something is approaching. Outside the window, dark shapes moved in the blackness. "Grathun fighters." "We're not alone," Hale said. The shuttle shook as the enemy fired weapons. Hale grabbed his rifle. "Hold tight. We're going to fight." The small crew worked fast. Human and Villari soldiers took their positions. The shuttle's defense systems powered up, firing back at the attackers. The battle was fierce but short. The Grathun fighters were powerful, but the shuttle was fast and well-armed. After several minutes, the enemy retreated into the darkness. Everyone let out a breath they didn't know they were holding. Ramos wiped sweat from her brow. That was close. Soraya hugged Eleven tightly. "He is safe." Hale looked at the baby, then at the stars ahead. "We still have a long way." As the shuttle traveled deeper into space, Eleven's glow grew brighter. He opened his eyes and looked around. For the first time since the journey began, he smiled, a small, warm smile. Hale reached out and touched the baby's hand. "We're here for you, Elivin. We'll protect you." Soraya nodded. "You are not alone." The group prepared for the next step. They knew the path would lead to a hidden place, a secret from long ago, something the Grathuan wanted to find and control. But now, humans and Velari stood together, and with Elivin's light guiding them, they were ready for whatever came next. The shuttle slowed as it approached a small, unknown planet. It was quiet and dark, covered in rocks and dust. The stars above twinkled coldly, but here there was no light. Hale stood by the window, holding Elivin close. The baby's glow lit up the small cabin like a tiny sun. "We're close," Soraya said softly. "This is the place from the vision." Ramos checked the instruments. Sensors show something buried beneath the surface. Something old, very old. The crew prepared to land. Everyone knew this mission was the most dangerous yet. The Grathuan would be here soon, and the secret below could change everything. The shuttle touched down gently. Hale, Ramos, Soraya, and a small team of soldiers stepped outside. The air was thin and cold, but the baby's light made the dark less scary. Elivin's eyes opened wide as he looked at the rocky ground. His glow brightened suddenly, filling the area with blue light. "Follow him," Hale said. "He knows the way." The group moved slowly, following the baby's shining path. They reached a large stone door, half buried in dirt and vines. Hale pushed it open, and inside was a room full of strange machines and glowing crystals. A power hummed in the air, strong and ancient. Soraya gasped. "This is the source." Hale looked around. "The power the Grathuan want. But why?" Elivin stepped forward and touched a crystal. The room lit up with energy. The baby's glow spread, filling the space like sunlight. Suddenly, the Grathuan arrived, their warships darkening the sky. Their leader stepped out, sneering. "You cannot stop us," he said. "That power belongs to us." Hale stepped between the leader and Elivin. "No, that power belongs to everyone." The battle began again, louder and fiercer than before. But this time, something changed. The energy in the room answered Elivin's call. It formed a shield around the humans and Velari, pushing back the Grathuan forces. Hale fought with new strength. He was no longer just a soldier. He was a protector, chosen by a child who carried the light of hope. The Grathuan leader tried to break through, but the power was too strong. Slowly, the invaders were forced back. With a final roar, the Grathuan retreated into their ships and flowed into the stars. The room grew quiet again. Soraya hugged Elivin tightly. "You saved us all." Hale looked at the baby's glowing face. "You showed us what it means to be strong." The power of the source was not a weapon to control or destroy. It was a gift, a light that could unite different worlds. From that day, humans and Velari worked together, guarding the secret and building peace. And Hale knew one thing for sure. Sometimes, the smallest light can shine the brightest in the darkest places.